This past fall, I had the lovely opportunity to visit the Lazio province of Italy and be introduced to Emma and Scott, owners of Hill Sabina. Thanks to my friend Candy for being photographer, videographer extraordinaire. This special olive farm just outside of Rome makes a great day trip or weekend getaway to learn all about the process from planting to harvest. Agritourism is big business in Italy, and more travelers want to have a cultural and interactive experience while they travel. Immersing yourself in nature through hiking or helping with growing a harvest like olives or grapes in Italy is really big. Join me today as I had the opportunity to interview Emma and Scott and talk with them about their journey from moving to Italy, renovating a villa, and creating a beautiful experience destination. Welcome to the Travel with Wendy channel. I love connecting and interviewing small business owners around the globe. I like to share reviews and hit the trails hiking. Thanks for joining me today because it's always an adventure when you travel with Wendy. Hi, thanks so much for joining us here today on Talking Travel with Wendy. I am here with my new friends, Emma and Scott of Hill Sabina in Italy. And they're going to tell us a little bit about olive oil, what it's like to move to Italy. So, tell me a little bit about what got you here.
Well, we're both ex-military, and laterally I was in the Royal Air Force for 37 years, and Emma was in the Air Force until the early 90s, mid-90s. And I was based in Rome doing my final assignment in the NATO Defence College as the UK's Senior National Representative. And we went out looking for a little holiday home up in the hills beyond Rome to get away from the heat in the summer, the noise, the tourists, and just be able to break away at weekends. And we were looking for something small, little two-bedroom place with a terrace so we can sip a glass of wine on a Friday evening. But after 47 properties that we went around, each one getting progressively larger and more expensive, we had come to realise that actually maybe the time was right to stop being in the military now, do something completely different, break away. And we bought this place here, which is, we call it Hill Sabina, which is a fairly large olive farm, about 400 trees, 22 acres.
It's gorgeous.
And a big farmhouse.
Yeah.
Madness.
Yeah. Thank you for letting all of us walk it the other night. Yeah. So pretty.
It was a fun evening as well. It was great.
Yeah, really fun. Really fun. And Emma?
So, we took the house on, realised quite fast that there was quite a lot to do. Inside was still a 1970s timepiece, so we ripped that apart, started again, lived for 6 months with no doors, no windows, nothing, no floors, no electricity.
Practically no water.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Which is a fairly typical Italian villa from the south.
Okay.
And outside we had 400 olive trees, which were, some of them were 2 stories high, totally abandoned for 10 years. So we learned all about olive farming because we started from zero knowledge.
Yeah.
And over the last 5 years, we've created a totally functioning olive farm.
And
certified organic.
An experienced destination.
Yeah, you've created quite a community here too.
Yeah,
oh, yes.
So that's been pretty cool. Speaking of experiences, how can people find out about an experience?
So we're on the internet, olivehillsabina.com.
Okay.
We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram at olivehillsabina.
Okay.
And we do a variety of experiences and blog about what we're doing here. People can come and taste the oil, visit the farm. Meet the maker days, that type of thing. In fact, we did a harvest experience this week as well for people.
Yeah, that's interesting. Share with us a story that was a bit challenging for you.
Well, I think most people imagine Italy being quite a bureaucratic nation. And I suppose most of us think our own countries are quite bureaucratic. But when you're working and living in a country that's not your mother tongue, buying a house, renovating a house, starting an olive farm from no knowledge, the challenges of the language can become quite interesting. And we've had a few interesting moments with the bureaucracy in particular. One I think that you might want to talk about is a bit of a mess up and understanding is what I would call it.
We got to the point this spring where we thought we had nailed the language and we were used to the bureaucracy, so we applied for planning permission to get a bed and breakfast room here.
Okay.
And one evening, completely by surprise, my Coldiretti, which is the Farmers Union, my official, and two random bureaucrats, we had no idea who they were, and they appeared and said, yeah, we're here to help you with the planning permission. So in they come to the house and they're examining all the plans, and they said, but where's the room, to our Italian anyway, where's the room for the male stripper?
And of course we're looking at each other at this point going, done that the same way, and we said, yes, we understood, they're asking us where the male stripper
The
was.
room for the male stripper.
The room for the male strippers, so we had to ask them to clarify, and they explained it almost the same way again, but not using the same words, so we went, okay.
So
we'll leave it at that.
Yes, of course we've got a room for a male stripper. Of course we have. I mean, why would we not? And off they went, happy that we were providing this service. And it was about a week later we finally figured out that actually they were looking for a room to strip in, i.e. a changing room.
But that's
Lost
just
in
a
translation.
small translation issue. We had many translation issues, most of which haven't been quite so amusing, but...
Okay, so you said you kind of learned from scratch how to do the olives and the olive grove, and you had told us the other day that there were something over 100 different varieties, right?
190.
190. So
Yeah.
it's almost 200. And you've been able to figure out what kind of varieties that you've had. And I know just from my gardening experience, some of them require certain care and soil and sun, and that had to be a challenge in itself too.
Absolutely. Well, when you have no knowledge at all, how do you find out?
Yeah.
And so we went and did a small course up near Florence for a week, learning how to tend, to cultivate, to prune and prepare olives. And then of course we used the University of Google, which
Yes.
is amazingly clever. And of course when you ask 10 of your neighbours, how do you do olive farming and how do I do olive farming, you get 10 different answers. So it's been really just looking at it from probably even a military sort of background and working it out bit by bit, which way do we want to go.
Yeah.
And actually in the end we've decided to not be quite conventional as to how most of the olive oil is produced in Italy. And that's for mass consumption, but to go down that very small boutique specialist way.
Yeah.
And actually we're finding that whereas in the past the Italians around here would look at us and the locals would say, oh, these strange foreigners, these Brits, they're mad, they won't be able to make olive oil like we do, we're now finding they're coming to us and asking us how we're doing it and,
Oh, good.
and why are we doing it this way, because they're interested and they're finding out that actually there's another way to possibly do olive oil. And
Well, that's a great collaboration right there.
absolutely.
There's
yeah.
also a lot of help, the bureaucracy thing in Italy as well, a lot of help and support available and a lot of hoops that you have to jump through. So we applied for organic status in 2018, and so what that brought on board was a rep from the organic certification board who comes and not only supports us but also challenges us to make sure that we're farming in accordance
good.
with their standards.
Yeah, yeah.
So they give us a lot of support, and then the other people are this Coldiretti, the Farmers Union, who
Okay.
are incredibly supportive. And then I had to do 150 hours of training
Okay.
to become a qualified farmer in Italian with 100% pass rate exam to sit at the end of it.
Wow.
So actually Emma's the
so,
farmer,
yeah.
I'm just the farm hand.
So,
Well,
but you're
in-
forced to learn as
Yeah.
well, aren't you? That's the thing.
And in retirement, that will be the same in my house as well.
Oh, well,
The
it's
travel
interesting.
writer and the travel researcher.
It's interesting you say
Nice.
retirement because it doesn't feel like retirement sometimes.
Well, you guys went right from that to working
Correct,
full-time
yeah.
here. So let's talk about the experiences. What do those include? How people can experience being here as well?
Do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Well, we have a number of experiences, and it's all based around the olive oil, but not just our olive oil. So, for example, we have oil tastings.
Okay.
We invite people to come and join us for an evening, usually because it's nice to be here when the sun sets, particularly in the summer. Visit down to the grove, a bit of education about the trees, show people how we cultivate the trees,
Yeah, that was lovely.
and prepare and even do the harvest. Even if we do it in the middle of the spring or the summer, we show people how we harvest. And then they come up and they do a tasting of olive oils, not just ours. We do a tour of Italy, so maybe something from Tuscany, something from Puglia, something from Sicily, as well as our own oil. Afterwards, there's a chance to wind down and then taste our oil, not just in the degustazione, tasting way, but with food prep. So we provide a nice apericena, it's called here in Italy, which is an aperitivo with a small meal, light meal of some sliced hams, cheeses, and which you can add the olive oil to see which of the olive oils you've tasted, plus a few others we leave out on the table, which ones you like and how they pair with different foods. So again, it's an experience and an education. So that's one thing we do.
We've got the bed and breakfast room that'll open in April.
Oh, excellent.
So
April 24th.
Yeah.
And then we also, for example, we've just done one a few days ago. We had a harvest experience. We had people from all over, quite a few Americans actually, who came and joined us for the harvest day. And they were out there in the field with us. They were helping pull the olives off the trees, pull the nets around, gather up the olives, and do the work that we would do. And then we came up and had a pasta lunch with a glass of nice Italian wine. And we sit and chat again about what we've done, the experiences. And then they can come back and join us again.
It's another way as well to see the local area. So after lunch we took them up to our local mill, so they drive down through the beautiful hill town of Tarano, and the guy that owns our mill gave them a fabulous guided tour.
Oh, wonderful.
Explaining exactly what machine did which, and he's really passionate about his oils. So
awesome.
in fact we got
supporting local business
exactly.
too.
Yeah, lots of
that's
collaboration.
the whole idea. We never wanted to come and step on anybody else's toes. We wanted to do our thing. And then we discovered very quickly, we did have a friend who was doing olive oil tastings, but he then moved to Spain. So he sort of left us whole, and people asking us about, well, where can we go and taste the oil? So he says, well, why don't we do it ourselves? So again, we did some reading up and finding out about olive oil tasting.
We did a course with him as well.
And here we are now. We're doing these wonderful evenings, and we do 2 or 3 a week, and we're quite flexible. We don't have any hard and fast days. We try to get a nice group together. It might not just be 2 people. It could be 10 people, all from different parts of the world, all coming together. We treat them like the Italian family around the table, and we try to make it as relaxing and enjoyable and educational. And we have the saying that you can ask as many questions you like, because there are no stupid questions, but there may be some dumb answers.
Well, and your location is great because you're about 45 minutes to 50 minutes from Rome.
Absolutely.
So it makes for a great day trip, and you get to see the Sabina Hills.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
which is beautiful, especially at sunset.
Yes.
And on that, of course, as you say, we're only a very short either train journey, and the train actually goes almost. There's a train that goes direct from the airport to the station just 10 minutes from here. People come from central Rome, come in, and we can pick them up from the station.
Sure.
So it's all quite relaxed and easy to get here. And then of course, even by road, it's less than an hour, 45 minutes by road, and very, very flexible. We're only an hour or so from up in Orvieto or Narni, Terni. So we're quite well located for some of the hubs around that people come into, including Perugia Airport, for example, which is only 70 minutes from here.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so tell our viewers again one more time, where can you find more information?
So our main website is www.olivehillsabina.com. We're on Instagram at Olive Hill Sabina. We're on Facebook, Olive Hill Sabina, and then also Google Maps. If you put in a search term of Olive Hill Sabina or extra virgin olive oil tastings in Sabina, etc.
We'll pop right up.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There's very few of us around, so we're very easy to find.
Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down and chatting with me today.
It's a pleasure.
It's been great.
And you're welcome.
And
please come back.
Yeah, you need to come in the autumn so you can do some hiking.
Yeah, autumn. And I definitely want to be part of the harvest too.
Yes.
Okay.
So. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
As you can see, we had a blast chatting with Emma and Scott about their Italian home in Agriturismo in Italy. Helping small businesses around the globe is a core mission of Travel with Wendy, and I was thrilled to help promote their olive farm and experiences in Sabina. Thanks so much for watching today. More to come, and don't forget to remember to like, follow, and subscribe. Ciao!